I'm hitting live now, so about 5 seconds.
Good afternoon. My name is Dan Scripps, Chair of the Michigan Public Service Commission, and I call this meeting of the Commission to order on September 24th, 2020 at 1:32 p.m. We're having a bit of technical difficulties, so today I will be calling the roll. Commissioner Phillips.
Present.
Commissioner Tallberg.
Present.
I am also present, so we have a quorum. We are holding this meeting using Microsoft Live Event. It is compatible with all browsers except Safari. Telephone relay service is available through the phone option. During this meeting, we will call out participant names before speaking to support those listening only by phone or using the relay service. As indicated in the notice for today's meeting, if we lose connection, the Commission will be in recess. We will attempt to reestablish a connection, but if we are unable to do so within 30 minutes, we will adjourn. Decisions made prior to the disconnection will be binding. Other business will be handled at a future meeting. We will not recess or adjourn due to technical issues experienced by individual members of the public. The meeting will be recorded and available for future reference on the Commission's website. In addition, the Commissioners can receive comment via mpsc_commissioners@michigan.gov. For reference, this email is also included in the Q&A feature on the live stream event on your computer and in the meeting notice. If you have intermittent internet service, you should consider listening to the meeting via telephone, not the computer. So if there's an interruption, you can avoid missing part of the meeting. Another option is to watch the meeting through your internet service with the sound muted, and then listen to the audio from your phone. Please keep in mind the video feed has a slight delay while the telephone line is in real time. We will have an opportunity for the public to make comment as provided in the agenda. A few notes about this. Comments should be limited to one per person and can be made verbally by calling in or in writing via the live stream Q&A feature. If you are participating via Teams application, you can use the Q&A feature and type your comments in the box anytime during our meeting, and we will have those queued up to read. The Q&A function should be used to request technical assistance or submit public comments directed to the Commission. If you would like to make verbal comments, you must call into the meeting by phone. To minimize disruptions, attendees will be muted until we reach the time for public comment. The first order of business is approval of the agenda for today's meeting, and I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the agenda for today's Commission meeting.
Commissioner Tallberg.
Second.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve today's agenda. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Tallberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The agenda is approved. The next item of business on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the September 10, 2020 Commission meeting. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the minutes from the September 10th, 2020 Commission meeting.
Commissioner Tallberg.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the minutes from the September 10, 2020 Commission meeting. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Tallberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The Commission meeting minutes of September 10, 2020 are approved. The next item of business on the agenda is the approval of the orders on the consent agenda. Today, the Commission is assisted by Staff Attorney Barb Kunkel. Ms. Kunkel.
Good afternoon. Today's consent agenda consists of 4 communications matters, 1 electric matter, and 2 gas matters. The proposed orders and minute actions for these matters have been thoroughly vetted by the Commission's technical and legal staff and are ready for your approval.
Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the orders and minute actions on the consent agenda.
Commissioner Tallberg.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the orders and minute actions on the consent agenda. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Tallberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The orders and minute actions on the consent agenda are approved. Ms. Kunkel.
Item 4A1 is case number U-11830, which addresses the performance measures and remedy plan for AT&T Michigan's provision of interconnection services to competitive legal exchange carriers. The order before you extends the effective date of the current performance measures and remedy plan through December 31st, 2022.
Commissioner Phillips?
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-11830.
Commissioner Tallberg?
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Tallberg?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-11830 is approved. Ms. Kunkel?
Item 4A2 is case numbers U-20892 et al., which involve actions on the Commission's own motion to commence formal basic local exchange service license revocation proceedings against specific telecommunication providers. The order before you directs the telecom providers to intervene in the proceedings and to appear at a hearing before an administrative law judge on November 17th, 2020.
Commissioner Phillips?
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20892 et al.
Commissioner Tallberg?
I'll second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Tallberg?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20892 et al. Is approved. Ms. Kunkel?
Item 4B1 is case number U-15805, which involves an application from Consumers Energy Company for ex parte approval of contracts related to the expansion of the Solar Gardens program. The order before you approves the application.
Commissioner Phillips?
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-15805.
Commissioner Tallberg?
I second the motion to approve the order in case number U-15805.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Tallberg?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-15805 is approved. Ms. Kunkel?
Item 4B2 is case number U-20367, which involves the application of Indiana-Michigan Power Company to reconcile its 2018 Energy Waste Reduction Plan. The order before you approves the application as modified by the order.
Commissioner Phillips?
Thank you, Chair Scripps. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20367.
Commissioner Tallberg?
And I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Tallberg?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20367 is approved. Ms. Kunkel?
Item 4B3 is case number U-20612, which involves an application by DTE Electric Company requesting ex parte approval of a new experimental large customer low peak demand supply rate. The order before you approves the request as set forth in the order.
Commissioner Phillips?
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20612.
Commissioner Tallberg?
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Tallberg?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20612 is approved. Ms. Kunkel?
Item 4B4 is case number U-20649, which involves an application by Consumers Energy Company requesting approval of its voluntary green pricing programs and revisions to existing voluntary green pricing programs pursuant to Section 61 of 2016 PA 342. Staff member April Stowe will describe this order.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. On December 21st, 2016, Public Act 342 of 2016 was signed into law and became effective on April 20th, 2017. Among other things, Act 3342 amends 2008 PA 295 by adding Section 61, which requires electric providers to offer voluntary green pricing programs to their customers. These programs provide customers the option to purchase from their electric utility up to 100% of their electricity from renewable resources. On October 18, 2019, Consumer Energy filed an application requesting approval of revisions to this company's Solar Gardens and Large Customer Renewable Energy programs. The revisions include the following: the requirement that Solar Garden customers commit to a 12-month term from the date of enrollment, and the addition of My Sunrise Solar, a pilot providing options for income qualified and nonprofit customer participation. Consumers also proposed a revision to the LC REP program, which included increasing the annual maximum amount of renewable energy available through option A to 400,000 megawatt hours from 155,000 megawatt hours, and expanding the resource options available under option A and B to include solar. Consumers' application also requested approval of 2 new programs. The first program is a REC program made up of 4 subscription options, 2 options from out-of-state renewable generation and 2 options from in-state renewable generation. The other new program is a Bring Your Own Brightfield pilot for behind-the-meter option that would be installed at the customer's facility. The order before you approves Consumers Energy proposed Solar Gardens program and proposed revisions, including the addition of My Sunrise Solar pilot. The order before you also approves the proposed revisions to the Large Customer Renewable Energy Program, Option A and Option B, as well as the new Renewable Energy Credit Program. The order before you declines to approve the Bring Your Own Brightfield pilot program at this time and encourages the company to work with the staff and stakeholders to address the concerns raised by interveners and the Commission through the My Power Grid work groups. The order directs Consumers Energy to continue filing in this docket a semi-annual report on April 1 and October 1 every year on its voluntary green pricing programs, including the details and additions discussed in this order. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stowe. Is there a motion to approve this order, Commissioner Phillips?
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20649.
Commissioner Tallberg?
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Tallberg?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20649 is approved. Ms. Kunkel?
Item 4B5 is case number U-20755, which involves a complaint filed by Ronald and Yvonne Hopp. The order before you dismisses the complaint with prejudice and orders Consumers Energy Company to submit information related to potential amendments to its residential electric tariff in its next electric rate case.
Commissioner Phillips?
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20755.
Commissioner Tallberg?
Second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Tallberg?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20755 is approved. Ms. Kunkel?
Item 4C1 is case number U-20209, which involves an application by Consumers Energy Company requesting authority to reconcile its gas cost recovery costs and revenues for the 12-month period ended March 31st, 2019. Staff member Nora Quilico will describe this order.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Pursuant to Public Act 304 of 1982, Consumers Energy filed a reconciliation on June 28, 2019 of its actual gas costs for the period of April 2018 through March 2019. In its application, Consumers Energy asserted that the reconciliation of its GCR costs and revenues for the 12-month period resulted in an under-recovery of approximately $17.5 million. The company requested that the Commission approve its calculated under-recovered amount and that it be rolled into the gas cost recovery factor for the following year. The 2018-2019 plan period contained challenging operating conditions for Consumers Energy and the entire state of Michigan. On January 30th, 2019, during the extreme weather event known typically as the Polar Vortex 19, the company's owned and operated Ray compressor station caught fire. Typically, the company is able to meet its customers' requirements reliably and at reasonable costs throughout Michigan winters, due in large part to this extremely versatile storage asset. In an effort to maintain service to its customers during these extreme conditions, the company relied on additional market gas purchases and took other actions, such as the curtailment of large interruptible customers. The governor also declared a state of emergency, asking all Michiganders to lower the temperature setting of their thermostats to assist in maintaining natural gas service throughout the state during this time. Staff filed testimony making 2 adjustments to the allowable gas cost recovery amount for the plan being reconciled. Both adjustments related to purchases that were made necessary by the Ray fire. These adjustments reduced the dollar amount recoverable by the company. Staff's January 2019 adjustment amounted to $7.16 million. It was the incremental cost of gas purchases the company made on January 30th through the 31st to maintain service due to the unavailability of its storage field. The company also made incremental purchases in March due to reoccurring colder than normal conditions and the Ray storage field still having reduced deliverability. The added cost in March amounted to approximately $789,000. Both adjustments were calculated by comparing the incremental purchase price to the average cost of gas in storage, which staff suggested should have been available had it not been for the compressor station fire. The order before you in U20209 accepts staff's adjustments with one additional modification. In addition to the January and March adjustments, the Commission determined that the company properly calculated savings from gas replacement purchases in February, which could also be attributed to the Ray fire. The incremental purchases in February were ultimately lower in cost than the cost of gas in storage, and ratepayers saved approximately $1.18 million in gas costs. All 3 adjustments amounted to $6.77 million reduction in the total allowable cost of gas. This resulted in a revised under-recovery status of $10,889,058, as opposed to the company's originally filed under-recovered amount of $17.5 million. The order finds that this adjustment properly protects ratepayers from circumstances they should not be held responsible for, while at the same time acknowledging that in addition to the added costs in January and March, there were cost savings in February as a result of the Ray compressor station fire. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Quilico. Commissioner Phillips, do we have a motion on this order?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Ms. Quilico, for the presentation this afternoon. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20209.
Commissioner Tallberg?
I second the motion.
Before we move to a vote, I want to say a few words on this order. As Ms. Quilico noted, the controversy in this case centers around costs of replacement gas relating to the fire that occurred on January 30th, 2019 at Consumers Energy Company's Ray Natural Gas Compressor Station in Macomb County. As a result of that fire, equipment was damaged and Consumers was unable to continue flowing gas from the compressor station, which is the largest source of working capacity in the state and supplies a significant portion of Consumers' gas needs during peak winter periods. To ensure continued delivery of gas during this emergency, Consumers limited gas used for electricity generation, coordinated with large commercial and industrial users to curtail usage, and requested that all customers conserve energy. I think we all remember getting an emergency alert that was issued to all cell phones in the Lower Peninsula, asking us to reduce our thermostats to 65 degrees or less. In addition to these steps, consumers also arranged alternative supplies from gas pipelines and other storage fields. And the core issue here is who should pay for the additional costs of these alternative sourcing arrangements. Consumers argues that these purchases were operationally necessary and that its curtailment of gas service during an emergency tariff prioritizes supply procurement in order to ensure continuous service to customers who may be in physical jeopardy. And I want to be very clear here. That is the right priority. The Commission shares that priority. Our focus on gas safety, including safety issues resulting from disruptions, is core, absolutely core to our responsibility as regulators. I also want to applaud consumers for the steps it took to maintain the continued operation of the gas system during this emergency. But it's also important to remember that the company didn't do this alone. Consumers' customers were asked to take drastic measures, and they responded. In a situation where we were brought to the brink, where the state police had to get involved through the emergency alert system and the governor went on television from the state's emergency operations center to ask for people to dial down their thermostats, consumers' customers acted together to essentially provide demand response, uncompensated demand response, to keep the system operational. Asking those same customers to also absorb the added costs associated with replacement gas is a step too far. So this case isn't about apportioning blame or meting out punishments. If last year showed us anything, it's that we're all in this together. I firmly believe that we're better off for the lessons learned as a result of this event, including the findings of the statewide energy assessment requested by Governor Whitmer following this emergency and published by the Commission last September. And I hope with this ruling, we can turn the page and focus on the future. Are there further comments?
Chair Scripps, I just want to extend my appreciation for the staff. And first of all, I appreciate your comments and want to just acknowledge the work of staff on this case. They presented analysis and recommendations for the Commission to make an informed decision. It's really an important matter involving the Ray compressor station fire that we all learned a lot from. Our staff did their due diligence to assess the root cause of the fire and the utilities actions leading up to, during, and after the fire. And I just want to say the staff's commitment to ratepayers throughout their involvement in this case, and we have nearly 300 cases before us at any given time, is just essential, and appreciate your work. So thank you, Nora, and the rest of the team.
Thank you for that, Commissioner Tallberg. I certainly echo those comments. We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Tallberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20209 is approved. We have now reached the time reserved for members of the public to address the Commission. Again, if you would like to make a comment and have access to the team's live stream Q&A feature on your computer, please enter your name and your comment, which will then be read aloud to the Commissioners. This feature is available on the right-hand side of the control bar, right next to the mute button. As a reminder, the Q&A feature is intended for public comments directed to the Commission and not to engage with other participants or respond to their comments. After taking comments through this feature, we will open up the phone line for those who called into the meeting and would like to address the Commission verbally. If you would like to be queued up for verbal comments, please enter your name in the live stream Q&A feature and indicate that you wish to make a verbal comment, but please do not include your written comment, as this will avoid duplication. I will first call on these names in the order received. After hearing from those individuals listed in the Q&A, we will ask if there are any other comments from individuals who are on the phone line, but not utilizing the online Q&A feature. Please note that you can only make verbal comments by calling into the meeting. When it is your turn to speak, press *6 on your phone to unmute. As a reminder, this public comment period is for Commissioners to listen to comments and concerns, and not to answer specific questions. When providing comment, please indicate your name and where you live if you are willing to share, so that we have that for our records. And finally, please limit comments to one per person and keep them brief, no longer than 3 minutes, so that we have a chance to hear from all who would like to comment. Are there any comments in the Q&A feature? I believe we're being assisted by Ms. Cole.
There are no comments in the Q&A feature at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Cole. Are there any folks in the Q&A feature who would like to make a comment verbally? I think that's also a no.
Right, there's none.
Finally, I would open it up to anybody who's on the phone line who wishes to make public comment at this time. Reminder, press *6 on your phone to unmute. Is there anybody on the phone that would like to address the commission? Again, press *6 on your phone to unmute. Hearing none, we will, I want to move to a few announcements. First, any announcements from Commissioner Phillips or Commissioner Tallberg?
No additional announcements here. Thank you, Chair.
No, thank you.
I just have two today. So first, I want to note the announcement by Governor Whitmer yesterday of the My Healthy Climate Plan for Michigan to achieve economy-wide carbon neutrality no later than 2050, including an initial commitment to achieve a 28% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions below 1999 levels by 2025, consistent with the commitments Michigan made when we joined the United States Climate Alliance last year. Given this announcement, in my comments this morning to the My Power Grid work group on integrating resource distribution and transmission planning, I challenged the staff and work group participants to develop recommendations for any changes that would be needed to fully consider the emission targets contained in the My Healthy Climate Plan in future utility IRPs, including in the 3 IRPs that will be filed by Consumers Energy, UMERC, and Indiana Michigan Power in 2021, before the planning parameters and filing requirements are updated in 2022. As we work to update these utility planning parameters and filing requirements, it's important that they take into account the aggressive goals set by Michigan's utilities and how those goals align with the bold targets set by Governor Whitmer. Second, I also want to note that it looks like we have a state budget in place for the fiscal year that begins next week, and want to thank State Budget Director Chris Kolb, House Speaker Lee Chatfield, and Senate Majority Leader Mike Shirkey for working in a bipartisan fashion to produce this budget. I also want to thank our staff for the sacrifices through furlough days and temporary layoffs to allow the Commission to continue to operate in a time of great uncertainty. This hasn't been an easy year, obviously, for a number of reasons, but our staff's professionalism and commitment in these times has been and continues to be inspiring. The people of the state of Michigan are well served, and I want to thank them for their work on behalf of the people of Michigan. And then finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize Ms. Kunkel. You wouldn't be able to tell watching this or participating in real time, but she was stepping in and helping out due to some technical glitches, and I certainly appreciate her willingness to do so and her constant professionalism. So thanks again, Barb. Anything else? Well, that concludes today's meeting. The next regular commission meeting is scheduled for October 15th, 2020 at 1:30 p.m. That will again be held via the Teams link. Is there a motion to adjourn, Commissioner Phillips?
Thank you, Chair Scripps. I move to adjourn today's meeting.
Commissioner Tallberg.
Second.
We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to adjourn the meeting. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Tallberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The meeting is adjourned. Thanks all.
Thank you.